First of all, I am pleased that Georgia is featured as one of the 10 economies showing the most notable improvements in the Doing Business 2017. Doing Business report, as you know, is the World Bank Group's flagship publication. Doing Business 2017, titled Equal Opportunity for All, is the 14th in a series of annual reports measuring different areas of the regulation that makes it easier to conduct business activity and those that make it harder to do so in any country. 10 areas were considered for this year, including dealing with construction permits, getting electricity, registering property, getting credit, protecting minority investors, paying taxes, trading across borders, enforcing contracts, and resolving insolvency. Doing Business presents quantitative indicators on these areas that can be compared across 190 countries. And as the minister said, this year, Georgia is ranked 16th among 190 economies. This is a significant jump from last year's ranking of 24. This year, the country also showed 2.48 points improvement in the distance to the frontier. The frontier is how the average of all countries' ability to do business. And Georgia made that progress, which again is fantastic. Georgia, as the minister said, is ranked 3rd in Europe after Yugoslavia, the Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, and Latvia. So in all European countries, Georgia is the 3rd. That is really something to be proud about. More specifically, one would ask, what is it that Georgia did that warranted them to be considered one of the best 10? They performed very well in 5 areas. The minister named them, but I will name them again just to make the point that Georgia improved the reliability of electricity supply by introducing penalties for the utility for those worst cause on the annual system. They also mandated the notification to customers when utility outages are planned. Georgia improved the quality of land administration by increasing coverage of all maps for previously held land plots in the main business city. Georgia strengthened minority investor protections, made export and import documentation compliance faster, and made paying taxes easier by abolishing additional annexes to corporate income tax returns. Lastly, this year, the survey in Georgia, the response rate for the survey in Georgia went 17% higher, which means that the business community was very much involved in the survey. One thing to note also this year are the changes that were made in the methodology of this report. 3 key indicators were added. For paying taxes, the indicator was expanded to include post-filing processes that occur after a firm complies with the regular tax obligations. In particular, the indicator now measures the time it takes to comply with and above to obtain value-added tax refund and comply with a corporate income tax audit. Before, we used to stop at just how taxes are paid, but this time it's the after filing process, and Georgia did fantastically well in that regard. On gender, before we only looked at how long it took to issue permits and licenses, but now we are looking at how long it takes for men and for women. And again, that was an indicator that was new to this year. And finally, protecting minorities. This area actually measures whether there is a facility to protect minorities, people who have invested in the system, invested in the economy, and again, Georgia did well. This 14th edition is extremely important because it is a tool that the government would use to measure how friendly they are to create an inclusive investment climate for the private sector to thrive. The private sector that creates jobs, the private sector that brings prosperity to the people, the private sector that actually boosts and accelerates the economy. I am really, really proud that Georgia has made this progress, but I'd like to urge the government not to stop here. There's still room for improvement. So we are hoping that this positive trend will be maintained and that next year we'll be coming here again to say Georgia has done even more progress.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.